good day.
Welcome back. Our next guest set a New Year's resolution to travel the country, hitting every state and making new friends along the way.
Sherry Lee always wanted to travel the country, and this year she decided, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm not going to let another year go past that I don't achieve this dream. So she is on a mission to sit down with one woman in each state to have meaningful conversations. Sometimes she knows these women. Sometimes they are complete strangers. Sometimes they're kind of friends of a friend of a friend. Well, she is here this week for her 20th stop on her 50-state tour. Thank you so much for being here.
Yes, and funny enough, when I was at the airport ready to fly here, I realized, oh, I have been in Minnesota before, 41 years ago, before the Mall of America.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Well, welcome back. A lot has changed.
Yeah.
A lot has changed. So Alex mentioned it briefly, but this is a New Year's resolution of yours. And how did it even come to be a New Year's resolution? Like, where did this idea come from?
Yeah, I wanted to travel the U.S. I have never traveled the U.S. In fact, Minnesota was the only state I ever visited before I was in my mid-20s outside of the West Coast. So this was an opportunity to do it. I thought, well, I'm in my 50s now, I better do it now. And I wanted to make it meaningful. And for me, meaningful would be meeting someone new in every state.
Well, I mean, it makes sense. A lot of us would love to see every state, and it's like, why not, while you're already doing that, connect with women? And so you're documenting this on social media, and how have people responded? I'm assuming that they want to get on board.
Yes, really well. Every time I visit someplace, I get messages from people either saying, this is so great, I really love the story, or, hey, have you been to my state yet? I'd love to meet you. So it's been so wonderful how welcoming everyone has been.
Your backstory, kind of talk a little bit about your backstory and how this leads into what you're doing right now.
Yeah, so I was adopted from Korea, but I was adopted by Japanese American parents, and there's a generation between us, so they were the age of my friend's grandparents. So they had been interned during World War II because of their Japanese descent, even though they were born in the Seattle area. And because of that, though, my father in particular didn't feel it was safe for us to travel or we'd be welcome throughout the U.S. And I didn't realize I took on that belief as well. So part of this is also rewriting my belief and believing I'm welcome everywhere, which I've found, and everything's available to me. And something I want to share with my children so they could see this too.
Yeah,
I love that. I truly do. You're changing your brain waves about how to look at the U.S. My question is, how do you pick? We know that some of the women you know, but you've got 50 states and already the word's out. How do you narrow it down to who you're going to meet with? Is there something specific? Do you guys get into politics? Is it just kind of just talking about each other's state?
Yeah, so the women I know are women that I've had very little to no contact with in the last 35 years. So they're basically strangers at this point as well. So I got 27 on my own, and some were like in Indiana. The person who does my website, I've never met her in person, worked with her for 2 years, met her in person. California, a woman who was my audiobook voice actress, never met her in person, met her in person, she gave me a singing lesson. So 27 that way. Then I reached out to friends. Do you know anyone in these states? Got contacts that way, and I had maybe 13 left, and I went online and started to look for women business owners because I figured they'd be established in that area. So the only criteria I've had was that they communicate well, since I'm planning this travel, and I want them to show up at the restaurant I'm meeting them in. Other than that, I have women of all ages, different ethnic backgrounds, economic levels, education levels, political beliefs, religious beliefs. We have talked politics sometimes. We have talked religion a lot when I was in the South because the culture is very different than where I'm from in the Pacific Northwest. But really the focus is on what do we have in common, and planting those seeds of friendship.
I love it. You have yet to meet your Minnesota gal.
Yes.
Can you tell us what you know, and,
Sure.
and what are you excited to hear about?
Well, so this is a friend of a friend, and actually I don't even know how she met my friend, who is someone I went to school with over 20 years ago. He's from Bismarck, I believe, so I was assuming maybe they went to high school together. I'm not sure. Her name is Ann Bailey. I know she runs a nonprofit. I believe she works with families. Something about, enriching life as you age. I don't want to misspeak because I don't know exactly what her nonprofit is about.
Do you intentionally, is it you know a little bit but don't want to, I mean, because you could Google these people and you could know everything that you've ever wanted to know about these people. Do you intentionally kind of go in a little blind.
Yes, yeah, I do. And, you know, I was in Virginia last week, and the woman in Virginia, her name has a Japanese origin because of who she married, but she has no Asian background. But people will sometimes say to her when they know her name, oh, I see your heritage, or whatever it is, you know, however they put it. And we kind of laughed about it, and she made the comment, people see what they're looking for. And I thought, well, that is so true. And so that's part of it. I'm looking for connection and just this genuine, organic conversation. And so I don't necessarily want to be looking for something on accident.
Yeah.
I think this is fantastic. I mean, the timing is also good because our nation is divided, and so you've met people from, you said, all the different, you know, socioeconomic levels, different experiences, religious, politics. Is there something that really jumps out that surprised you when you go in and you don't know someone that you have your preconceived notions of, and that they just totally just changed your mind?
Yeah, actually, you know, just in general, the South, I never had traveled the South, and how welcoming the South was to me. That was a real surprise. I mean, just all the way through. And actually, even Las Vegas, I met a woman, so I looked a little bit to see what she looks like. I meet a stranger at a restaurant, and she lives in Las Vegas and said professional poker player. And I just kind of thought that was a joke because she lives in Las Vegas. I don't know why I thought it was a joke. She was a professional poker player. But it's little things like that where I wonder, where did I have in my mind that's not what a woman that maybe looks like her, of her age, you know, is. And so it's little things that surprise me that, oh, I didn't realize I thought that way.
This is amazing. People can follow along because obviously you mentioned you're looking for Delaware, though, right?
I am looking for Delaware.
If anybody's got a Delaware connection, she needs a Delaware connection.
Yes.
But where can people follow? How can people kind of get involved in this without being the person that you're going to meet?
Yeah, on Instagram, I have a really long name, and Imperfectly Perfect Life, or Sherry Lead, my name, and anywhere on social media, actually.
Yeah.
Wow.
We look forward to following your journey. Thank you so much, Sherry. Yeah. I love this idea. And again, you can follow it through hashtag 50 States Project, or on Sherry's Instagram, An Imperfectly Perfect Life.
Yes.
Enjoy Minnesota.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you so much.